Welcome to Bible Quiz Studio.
It's quiz time. Think you really know the Bible, Kings? Let's put your Bible knowledge to the test with some exciting true or false questions. You've got 40 questions and just 7 seconds to answer each one. Some are easy, some are tricky. How many can you get right? Challenge yourself and invite a friend to join the fun. Let's see who knows the Bible best. True or false? King Saul was from the tribe of Judah. False. 1 Samuel chapter 9, verse 1 and 2 say, "There was a man of Benjamin whose name was Kish, and he had a son whose name was Saul, a handsome young man." True or false? David was anointed king of Israel by Saul. False. 1 Samuel chapter 16 verse 13 says, "Then Samuel took the horn of oil and anointed him in the midst of his brothers, and the Spirit of the Lord came upon David from that day forward." True or false? King Solomon's mother was Abigail. False. 1 Kings chapter 1 verse 11 says, "So Nathan spoke to Bathsheba, the mother of Solomon, saying, 'Have you not heard that Adonijah, the son of Haggith, has become king?'" True or false? King Hezekiah destroyed the bronze serpent Moses had made. True. 2 Kings chapter 18 verse 4 says, "He broke in pieces the bronze serpent that Moses had made, for until those days the children of Israel burned incense to it." True or false? King Ahab's wife was named Athaliah. False. 1 Kings chapter 16 verse 31 says, "He took as wife Jezebel, the daughter of Ethbaal, king of the Sidonians." True or false? King Josiah was only 10 years old when he began to reign. False. 2 Kings chapter 22 verse 1 says, "Josiah was 8 years old when he became king, and he reigned 31 years in Jerusalem." True or false? King Nebuchadnezzar was king of Persia. False. Daniel chapter 1 verse 1 says, "Nebuchadnezzar, king of Babylon, came to Jerusalem and besieged it." True or false? King David captured Jerusalem from the Jebusites. True. 2 Samuel chapter 5 verses 6 and 7 say, "Nevertheless, David took the stronghold of Zion, that is, the city of David." True or false? King Rehoboam was Solomon's brother. False. 1 Kings chapter 11 verse 43 says, "Then Solomon rested with his fathers, and Rehoboam his son reigned in his place." True or false? King Asa removed his own mother from being queen because of unforgiveness. False. 1 Kings chapter 15 verse 13 says, "He removed Maacah, his grandmother, from being queen mother because she had made an obscene image of Asherah." True or false? King Jehoshaphat made peace with King Ahab through marriage. True. 2 Chronicles chapter 18 verse 1 says, Jehoshaphat had riches and honor in abundance, and by marriage he allied himself with Ahab. True or false? King Uzziah was struck with leprosy for adultery in the temple. False. 2 Chronicles chapter 26 verse 19 says, Then Uzziah was wroth, and had a censer in his hand to burn incense, and while he was wroth with the priests, the leprosy even rose up in his forehead before the priests in the house of the Lord, from beside the incense altar. True or false? King Manasseh was known as one of Judah's most righteous kings. False. 2 Kings chapter 21 verses 1 and 2 say, Manasseh was 12 years old when he began to reign, and reigned 55 years in Jerusalem. And he did that which was evil in the sight of the Lord, after the abominations of the heathen. True or false? King Solomon wrote the book of Ecclesiastes. True. Ecclesiastes chapter 1 verse 1 says, The words of the preacher, the son of David, king in Jerusalem. True or false? King Saul hid among the baggage when he was first chosen. True. 1 Samuel chapter 10 verse 22 says, So they asked the Lord, Where is he? And the Lord replied, He is hiding among the baggage. True or false? King Jeroboam made golden calves for Israel to worship. True. 1 Kings chapter 12 verses 26 and 28 say, Jeroboam thought to himself, Unless I am careful, the kingdom will return to the dynasty of David. The king made 2 gold calves and said, Look, Israel, these are the gods who brought you out of Egypt. True or false? King Ahaz offered his daughter as a sacrifice. False. 2 Kings chapter 16 verse 3 says, Instead he followed the example of the kings of Israel, even sacrificing his own son in the fire. True or false? King David's first capital city was Hebron. True. 2 Samuel chapter 2 verse 11 says, The length of time David was king in Hebron over Judah was 7 years and 6 months. True or false? King Jehu destroyed the temple of God in Israel. False. 2 Kings chapter 10 verse 27 says, They demolished the sacred stone of Baal and tore down the temple of Baal, and people have used it for a latrine to this day. True or false? King Zedekiah had his eyes put out after trying to flee Jerusalem. True. 2 Kings chapter 25 verse 7 says, They killed the sons of Zedekiah before his eyes, put out the eyes of Zedekiah, bound him with bronze fetters, and took him to Babylon.
Doing great or finding it a bit tricky? Don't forget to like this video if you're enjoying the challenge, and subscribe for more Bible quizzes and trivia. Let's go.
True or false? King Jotham was the son of Uzziah. True. 2 Kings chapter 15, verse 32 says, "In the second year of Pekah, the son of Remaliah, king of Israel, began Jotham, the son of Uzziah, king of Judah, to reign."
True or false? King Rehoboam listened to the elders' wise advice and eased the people's burden. False. 1 Kings chapter 12, verses 13 to 14 say, "And the king answered the people roughly, and forsook the old men's counsel that they gave him, and spake to them after the counsel of the young men, saying, My father made your yoke heavy, and I will add to your yoke." True or false? King Solomon's reign lasted 70 years. False. 1 Kings chapter 11, verse 42 says, "The period that Solomon reigned in Jerusalem over all Israel was 40 years." True or false? King Saul consulted a witch before his final battle. True. 1 Samuel chapter 28, verse 7 says, "Then Saul said to his servants, Find me a woman who is a medium, that I may go to her and inquire of her." True or false? King Asa sought help from Egypt instead of relying on God. True. 2 Chronicles chapter 16, verse 7 says, "Because you have relied on the king of Syria and have not relied on the Lord your God, therefore the army of the king of Syria has escaped from your hand." True or false? King Josiah killed Pharaoh Necho of Egypt. False. 2 Kings chapter 23, verse 29 says, "While Josiah was king, Pharaoh Necho, king of Egypt, went up to the Euphrates River to help the king of Assyria. King Josiah marched out to meet him in battle, but Necho faced him and killed him at Megiddo." True or false? King Solomon built the first temple in Jerusalem. True. 1 Kings chapter 6, verse 1 says, "In the 4th year of Solomon's reign over Israel, he began to build the house of the Lord." True or false? King David was forbidden from building the temple because he was proud. False. 1 Chronicles chapter 28, verse 3 says, "But God said to me, You shall not build a house for my name, because you have been a man of war and have shed blood." True or false? King Jehoshaphat went into battle wearing disguises. False. 2 Chronicles chapter 18, verse 29 says, "And the king of Israel said to Jehoshaphat, I will disguise myself and go to the battle, but put thou on thy robes." True or false? King Hezekiah showed all his treasures to envoys from Babylon. True. 2 Kings chapter 20, verse 13 says, "And Hezekiah showed them all the house of his precious things. There was nothing in his house, nor in all his dominion, that Hezekiah showed them not."
True or false? King Uzziah was cured from leprosy. False. 2 Chronicles chapter 26, verse 21 says, "And Uzziah the king was a leper unto the day of his death, and dwelt in a separate house." True or false? King Rehoboam ruled over the northern kingdom after the division.
false? 1 Kings chapter 12 verse 17 says, "But Rehoboam reigned over the children of Israel who dwelt in the cities of Judah." True or false? King Jeroboam ruled the southern kingdom of Judah. False. 1 Kings chapter 12 verse 20 says, "When all Israel heard that Jeroboam had come again, they made him king over all Israel." True or false? King Manasseh repented while he was in captivity. True. 2 Chronicles chapter 33 verses 12 and 13 say, "When he was in affliction, he humbled himself greatly before the God of his fathers, and prayed unto him. And God heard his supplication." True or false? King Saul spared King Agag, which displeased God. True. 1 Samuel chapter 15 verse 9 says, "But Saul and the people spared Agag and the best of the sheep and the oxen." True or false? King Ahab wanted Naboth's vineyard and eventually got it. True. 1 Kings chapter 21 verse 15 says, "As soon as Jezebel heard that Naboth had been stoned to death, she said to Ahab, 'Get up and take possession of the vineyard.'" True or false? King Solomon had 800 wives and 300 concubines. False. 1 Kings chapter 11 verse 3 says, "He had 700 wives, princesses, and 300 concubines." True or false? King Jehu was anointed by Elisha to destroy Ahab's family. True. 2 Kings chapter 9 verses 6 and 7 say, "Jehu got up and went into the house. Then the prophet poured the oil on Jehu's head and said, 'I anoint you king over the Lord's people, Israel. You are to destroy the house of Ahab.'" True or false? King Ahaz installed a new altar modeled after one he saw in Damascus. True. 2 Kings chapter 16 verse 10 says, "Then King Ahaz went to Damascus to meet Tiglath-Pileser, king of Assyria. He saw an altar there and sent the priest a sketch of its design." True or false? King Jehoiakim destroyed Jeremiah's scroll and water. False. Jeremiah chapter 36 verse 23 says, "When Jehudi had read 3 or 4 columns, the king cut it with a scribe's knife and threw it into the fire."
You made it to the end. Great job. How did you do? Let us know your score in the comments. Subscribe for more fun Bible quizzes and share the joy with friends. See you in the next one.